evaluation reports, Chief. Once you sign them, they'll be ready for archiving. Adjutant Nightingale is out on duty today. Before she left, she specifically instructed me to keep an eye on you and ensure you're not shirking your duties or wandering off. Ah, avoiding eye contact, are we? Feeling a bit guilty, Chief?
Chief, an unknown sinner has arrived at the MBCC.
Not quite like that. This person isn't for capture. She's been personally escorted by the higher-ups. A VIP, actually. Per the notice, no shackles are needed for her.
The subject has been escorted to the interrogation room, Chief. She's expressed a desire to speak with you.
We should have met sooner. I went to the party at the Midsummer Nights Club as well, but unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to speak with you. You looked dazzling that night. It's been a long time, dear Chief. I've heard. After the riot, you lost much of your memory. You probably don't remember me anymore. Given that, allow me to reintroduce myself. I'm Shalom. I've been entrusted to assess the situation with the MBCC and the Chief. There might be something I can assist with. I'll likely be bothering you guys for a while, Chief. Yes, we crossed paths at MBCC and engaged meaningfully. You made a lasting impression on me, so perhaps we could be considered more than mere acquaintances. Friends, I'd like to think. You look a bit surprised. Is that so? Madame Langley of the Ninth Agency is a very powerful sinner, and given her disposition, she's never one to downplay it. Did you, by any chance, forget about your direct superior? Be careful. She might come knocking on your door. Feel free to ask any questions. That's why I requested this additional interrogation. It was tough to arrange this meeting, and I'd hate to see you looking so anxious. Call it Shorel. It's the latest innovation from the Black Ring Research Institute. Since I lack the ability to defend myself independently, It's been assigned to assist with protection, communication, information gathering, and analysis, among other tasks. The enhancement materials from MBCC designed for sinners don't really work on me. However, if I share them with Shorl, it can optimize its combat efficiency through analysis, thereby better safeguarding everyone. It's a reliable companion. I get it. You've always had a tense relationship with Paradisos. I don't want to hide anything from you. Yes, Paradisos has been watching you, particularly your involvement in the 2 Black Ring incidents. Just admit you despise it. You're a candid person. There's no need for pretenses with me. Aside from public misconceptions, Paradisos isn't exactly winning any popularity contests, but they're acutely self-aware. I picked up a saying from your overworked colleagues that hits the nail on the head when it comes to describing Paradisos' attitude. Whatever. Just roll with it. With your current level of clearance, I can't disclose much about the true nature of the situation. However, the stance of Paradisos is no secret. From the moment of its founding, Paradisos has been driven by a singular goal: to seek out the nearly impossible solution for preserving human civilization in the face of apocalypse. This is their unwavering commitment, and they are willing to sacrifice everything to achieve it. All worldly temptations hold no allure for them. In turn, they must fervently detach from worldly attachments to navigate the complexities of reality. Consequently, their actions may often appear cold and unyielding. The FAC is much more popular than them. This comes from their genuine regard for you, coupled with my own subtle yearning to see you again. Paradisos has acknowledged all your efforts to date. They need you and wish to convey this. Of course, they're aware they lack the emotional connection needed to regain your trust. That's why they've specifically sanctioned my visit. Given our past interactions, they seem to think that a greeting from me would yield a more favorable response. Setting aside my personal feelings and speaking from an official and rational standpoint, I want you to know this. Every faction has its own viewpoint, but being made up of individuals, differing perspectives and interpretations are inevitable. You possess a force that is both potent and enigmatic, eliciting fear, hatred, or envy from people across all organizations. How you are perceived can shift at any given moment. So, firm up your own convictions, keep your eyes peeled, and gather all the intel you can. Seek out the force that you can wield and believe in. That's what you should be focusing on. You're not fundamentally at odds with them. You're not the kind to incite mania for personal gain, so you're not inherently opposed to Paradisos. That means there's a pathway to mutual progress. At least, I'd hope so. Of course. I wanted to see you. Tell me about your journeys. You've been awake for over 2 months now, and I've heard you've traveled far and wide, meeting all sorts of people. You're looking healthier, more vibrant even. Word around here is you're well liked. You've made quite a few friends, haven't you? Share with me the highs and lows, what you've gained and what concerns you. It's been a while. I've been wondering how you're holding up. Wow, you're really living life on the edge, aren't you? You're key to our operations. We can't afford to have you abducted. So, who's been audacious enough to come at you? And how did our Minos chief pull off a clever victory? Indeed. Reports can make it seem straightforward, but living it is another story altogether. What about now? Has waking up to this world dimmed its horrors for you? But you've come so far, gained a solid footing. This bureau is your fortress now. Not only are you secure, but you also offer sanctuary to countless others. Each sinner draws strength from you, and along the way, many have found their salvation through your influence. Everyone seems to put their faith in you. That's quite the achievement, wouldn't you agree? I don't get many chances to see you, so it's hard to anticipate your every move. Instead, you always seem to surprise me when we meet. The first time we crossed paths was here, earlier this year, before you lost your memory. Back then, you were a storm of raw emotions, a spectacle of pure, unfiltered feeling. Unyielding, you charged forward without a second thought. I wasn't around for long, but long enough to see the chaos you left in your wake, a constant thorn for the Bureau. The second encounter was just last month, at the Midsummer Nights Club. Quite the unexpected setting. You were all dressed up. A single glance told me it was your covert assignment garb, so I held back, not wishing to interfere. Yet, there you were, being approached by someone entirely unexpected. That sinner provoked you, throwing your plans into disarray. In the past, you would have erupted in rage. Yet, in that moment, you responded with calculated grace, maintaining just a sliver of your old temper, allowing no room for them to save face. And the third time? That's happening right now. You've become adept at playing along with my words, revealing just enough genuine emotion to gain my trust and soften my resolve. Simultaneously, you subtly fish for information, attempting to unlock aspects of your past that remain sealed off to you. Don't get me wrong, I'm not holding it against you. In fact, I find it comforting. The sober world can be overwhelmingly intricate. Watching your every move through the cold detachment of those reports is nerve-wracking. Unable to be with you, all I can do is worry. Now that we've finally met face to face, I'm at ease. You've been evolving, maturing, steadying, and deepening your thoughts. At the very least, you've become resilient enough that no one can easily break you. Most importantly, even with all these transformations, some core aspects of you remain the same. We've held hands like this before. I still remember the touch, just as I remember who you were back then. You remain as unyielding as ever, going to great lengths to preserve your true self. You don't back down easily. I admire that kind of defiance. Yes. Back to your question. You asked me if a past version of yourself would have performed better. My answer is no. You're always moving forward. Even the loss of memory hasn't hindered your progress. You continue your relentless journey forward. Each step you take represents the best you are capable of, right here and now. But I can't just trivialize your experience with applause, because the pain and loss you've endured cut deep. They're palpable, and I feel it as if it were my own. Today, I am no longer permitted to remove these gloves and feel your touch. We each have boundaries that must not be crossed, but you should sense the sentiments I hold. We are fated to experience loss, but as long as you continue to move forward, the ones you hold dear will inevitably reunite with you at the journey's end, amidst a celestial ocean of azure blossoms. And as for those memories you've lost, forever beyond reach and unable to be mourned. Don't worry, even if it's a mere fragment, I'll hold it in memory for you.
Chief! I didn't expect you to show up in person, ma'am. There's an urgent document requiring Chief's authorization. Could you spare a few minutes?
Go on. Your adjutant is waiting. I'll hand you back to her for now. There will be plenty of time for us later.
I appreciate your understanding. Chief, would you kindly follow me, please? Have you shackled her yet? I see. My apologies. I overreacted. She is indeed a pivotal figure. Whatever happens, you must pass this trial safely. Please, don't ask any further questions. I must go.
computer records from the Bureau should all be on this shelf. I haven't been clean in a while. It's a bit disorganized.
Yes, we crossed paths at MBCC and engaged meaningfully. You made a lasting impression on me, so perhaps we could be considered more than mere acquaintances. Friends, I'd like to think.
More files? Oh, right! We've got even more classified stuff here. The kind of legendary tales you only hear whispered about in the Bureau. However, security tightened up after the unrest. Looks like they've sealed off all those juicy files. I can't get at them. I don't have the clearance. I'm not really well versed with the documents predating my employment here. I wasn't on board at the time. Now that I think about it, I've only actually encountered Chief in the last few months since joining. What have you been up to all this time?
The first time we crossed paths was here, earlier this year, before you lost your memory. Back then, you were a storm of raw emotions, a spectacle of pure, unfiltered feeling. Unyielding, you charged forward without a second thought.